Hi, you guys. It's Yaz. And today I'm going to talk about when a narcissist gets caught. What is that narcissist going to do? Okay. And narcissists, they do get caught from time to time. All right. Doing something they shouldn't be doing. Maybe they're cheating. Maybe they're inboxing somebody they shouldn't inbox. Maybe they're flirting with someone else. Maybe they're stealing money, whatever they're doing. Eventually, narcissists do get caught, okay? And I'm going to talk about all the things they're going to do when they do get caught. Number one, okay? When a narcissist gets caught, one of the biggest things they're going to do is just deny and lie, okay? They're going to sit there and lie and say, it isn't what you see, okay? Now they're going to try to just lie and gaslight you. And the thing is, you could have all the proof, all the evidence, and put it in front of that narcissist, and guess what? They'll still lie and say something like, well, that wasn't me, or that's not me in the picture, or something, okay? They're always going to deny, they're always going to lie. Very rarely will a narcissist own up to doing something they weren't doing, okay? And I'm going to get into that in a minute when they will own up. But narcissists will deny and lie. And what they'll do is, you guys, they'll be relentless when they lie. And they're going to hold true to the lie. And you're going to sit there and you're going to say to yourselves, maybe I got this wrong. Because they keep telling me they didn't do that. And they're, going on and on and on and on. They beat you down so much by denying it and lying that you get to a point sometime where you're like, okay, you didn't do it. All right. Okay. And this is what a narcissist will do. They will beat you down by adamantly saying they didn't do something when they did, to a point where you just give up and just concede that, whatever they're saying, because you just can't stand to go back and forth and argue with them. So here's what it is. When you confront a narcissist and they won't own the truth, that's when you have to disengage and just say, not today, Satan. I'm never going to get the truth out of this person. I know what it is. I know what I saw. I know what I heard. Okay. And they're just not going to own it. All right. But a narcissist, they will lie to the end and, hold to that lie, and it will frustrate you. Okay. Frustrate you to make you crazy. And some of them, okay, I want to bring this up too. Some of them will even lie on a Bible, okay? I have seen people do crazy things where they will lie on a Bible. They will lie to a preacher. They will lie on their dead mother or father's grave, all right? They'll swear, they'll swear on a Bible, swear on their mother or father's grave, when you have the evidence against them, okay? They will still lie to the end. So this is the first thing that they're going to do is just lie, and they're going to hold true to that lie till you break down and just be like, all right, I guess you didn't, okay? and this is how they try to win. They'll just deny to the end. The other thing that a narcissist will do when they're caught is they will triangulate and use their friends and family to lie for them. See, people think that, just because it's the narcissist's mother or father, that, because they're a mother and father, they would never lie, But plenty of parents of the narcissist will lie for the narcissist. Their mother will lie for them, make up excuses, tell you that they were with them at their house when they might have been out with another supply. And some narcissists will actually say things like, well, you could ask my mother. You could ask my mother where I was, all right? And meanwhile, the mother will flat out lie to you. Why? Because she's just as toxic. The fruit don't fall far from the tree. And this is where the narcissists learn to be deceptive and a liar. from their, their toxic mother or their toxic father. So when they get caught, they're going to triangulate, maybe bring their mother or their friend into it and say, well, you could ask my friend. They won't lie to you. They'll tell you the truth. They'll tell you that I was with them. So they'll love to say they were with their mother, have them lie, or they'll love to say, oh, I was at my friend's house, and then have their friend lie for them, okay? Don't be fooled by that, okay? Do not be fooled by that. That actually happened to me when I was dealing with a narcissist. He tried to use his mother, and she just flat out lied to me, okay? She just flat out lied to me about where he was and everything. She was in on the game, and, at the time, it was not incomprehensible to me to think that somebody's mother would do this, right? But they do, okay? They do. So when a narcissist gets caught, they're going to triangulate. They're going to use their friends, their family, their mother, their father to lie for them, to try to back them up, all right? Now, the obvious thing that they'll do when they're caught is gaslight you till you are, thinking you're crazy. They're going to call you crazy. They're going to say it didn't happen like that. They're going to use the amnesia card. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. Or they'll say, oh, you need therapy. You're seeing things that aren't there. Or, you make a big deal out of everything. Or it's not what you think. Oh, that's just a friend. Okay, that's when let's say they're having a relationship with their home. They'll say it's their home girl or home boy. All right, and they'll say, well, that's just a friend. That's just a friend, and you're controlling and you're making a big deal out of nothing. All right, nobody calls their other supply just a friend more than a narcissist who is cheating with that other supply. Okay, cheating with that just a friend person, but they're going to try to downplay it and say, oh, that's just a friend. That's just a friend, right? But they're going to try to gaslight you and confuse you and make you think that you've got it wrong, okay? You've got to follow your gut. You've got to trust yourself. Trust what you see. Trust what you heard. And don't be wavered when they try to gaslight you, because the narcissists are very good at gaslighting and confusing. Matter of fact, when you confront them and they get caught, they're going to give you a whole word salad. They're going to be talking about other things. Oh, you must be talking about this, oh, that's my friend, or this or that. They love to bring in their friends and try to, deflect the conversation over to them or onto somebody else to get the heat off them. All right. So they're going to gaslight you like crazy when they get caught, to try to weasel their way out of it, to confuse you. All right. Now, obvious thing they'll do when they get caught is blame you, okay? And say, let's say you catch the narcissist cheating. What their first thing will be like, you're the one cheating on me. That's why you're accusing me, all right? You're the one who's cheating. You're the one who's cheating. Or if they do concede and they do say that, oh, I cheated because you cheated on me, all right? Now they're trying to justify what they did. They'll say, oh, well, you were cheating on me. You were cheating on me, all right? Meanwhile, you haven't done anything, but they'll always try to put that shame on you and make it like you were doing something, and this is to justify whatever they got caught doing that they shouldn't be doing, right? Or what they'll do is they'll also blame you for the cheating and say things like, well, what did you expect? You were never around, or you never wanted sex. You know how many narcissists love to say this, all right, when they're caught cheating? They love to say that, you didn't like to do things in the bedroom, or you didn't like to do this, or you didn't like to do that. It's all an excuse, okay? It's all an excuse. Plenty of people have great sex with the narcissist, and they may still go out. They're still going to go out and cheat on you. Even if you give that narcissist great sex, what a lot of people will do is they figure, they may feel a little insecure with the narcissist, so they want to sex them down, okay? They want to sex them down. They want to give them great sex because they figure, well, if I give them great sex, they're not going to want it anywhere else. wrong. They're always going to want it somewhere else because it's something different. And narcissists always need something new and exciting. So, but they're going to use that if they get caught and say something like, oh, well, the sex was boring with you, or you didn't want to have sex enough, or they're going to come up with some excuse. It's all an excuse. And that's not the reason why they cheated. They cheated because they wanted something different, okay? That's a big reason why they cheat, and because they can, all right? Now, the other thing like I said, they're going to gaslight, they're going to confuse, they're going to call you crazy. They love to call you crazy, all right? Here we go, the mental card. Oh, you need to get your head examined. You're crazy. What they do is, when a narcissist really feels cornered, what they're going to do is they're going to call you crazy and then they're going to run, okay? They're just going to run and they're going to disappear for a while. This is what they're going to do because the heat is on. So they'll say, oh, you're crazy. You need to get your head examined. And then they run and they disappear. And what they're going to do is they're going to wait a while. They're going to wait a while and they're going to wait for you to cool down. This is what a narcissist is going to do. They wait till you cool down, and then they come back and they re-love bomb you. And they hope that you don't try to make them accountable, okay? So they're going to come back and they're going to, tell you they miss you, they love you. Oh, just leave it in the past. Or why do you keep bringing up the past? Meanwhile, it happened a few days ago, okay? Or they may say something like, can we move on from here? Can we move on from here? They just don't want to take the accountability. They don't want to own what they're wrong. They want to sweep it under the rug. They want to, totally negate it and make like nothing ever happened and move on from there. And they expect you to be the same that you were before they got caught. All right? That's the joke of it. They expect you to be normal with them, loving with them. And meanwhile, you may have caught this person doing something they shouldn't do. You may have caught inboxes they had with somebody else. You may have found out that they went and cheated on you, but you're supposed to be normal, right? You're supposed to be normal after that. Can't you be normal? All right? All right? It's like the narcissist can come and go and do what they want, but you're supposed to still be normal. All right. You're supposed to just sweep whatever they do under the rug. That's why I did a reel yesterday where I talked about narcissists want a lap dog. That's what they want. They want somebody that doesn't give them a problem, that doesn't challenge them, that doesn't make them be held accountable, and just doesn't open their mouth. All right. You're supposed to sit there, shut your mouth, let the narcissist do whatever they do, and never say anything. That's what the narcissist wants. All right. They want a pansy. That's what the narcissist wants. They want a sucker. So, you don't be nobody's sucker. So they're going to, call you crazy, run. And the other thing that they could do, all right, now I spoke about this in the beginning of the podcast. Most of the time, a narcissist will deny till the end of time if they get caught cheating or caught stealing or whatever. They'll deny till the end of the time. But when you have a boundary up where you're ready to walk out on that narcissist or get divorced from that narcissist, a desperate narcissist who needs you badly may concede and say that they did something wrong. Now, it's not because they're sorry. This is the difference. It's not because they're sorry that they're owning up. It's because they need you, all right? So there are rare instances where a narcissist, let's say they got caught cheating or something, they may apologize, but what they're doing is they're conning you. They're only apologizing because they want to keep you, because maybe they don't want to get divorced and give up half their assets or have to pay child support. So they may say they're sorry for what they did. They may agree to go to therapy, even though they're not all into the therapy, or they may want to manipulate the therapist. So they're going to tell you what you want to hear to, manipulate you. And you're thinking, oh, they're changing. Oh, they're going to change. They're going to change. No, they're not changing, okay? They're manipulating you because they don't want to have to pay out most of the time, all right? They don't want to have to pay out. Like if it's a divorce situation, and then have to deal with every other weekend with kids when they could just stay married to you and do what they want on the side and have you do everything, right? And not have to give up their assets. So that may be a situation where a narcissist may concede and say, oh, it'll never happen again or something like that. All right. That's a desperate narcissist that would do that. A desperate narcissist. But in general, a narcissist would never, ever concede and they'll never, ever come down and say that they did anything wrong, even if you have the proof in front of them. You could have a picture in front of them with another supply, okay? Or you could have text messages or something like that. They'll still deny. When you show them a picture, let's say you have a picture of them with the new supply, they'll tell you that's a Photoshop picture, okay? They'll say, oh, that's a Photoshop picture. I don't know where you got that from. Oh, somebody's playing games with you. If you say, oh, your friend saw them out, took a picture of them or something, they're out with the new supply, they'll say, oh, that's Photoshopped. That's your friend is playing games. Your friend, that's a Photoshop picture, okay? Meanwhile, it's not a Photoshop picture, all right? But they're going to gaslight and try to make you think it is a Photoshop picture, all right? They'll accuse you of cheating. They'll blame you for their cheating, all right? They'll do all these kind of things to confuse you, all right? The other thing that they'll do when they're caught is they'll blame it on the drugs and alcohol. Oh my God, they just love to blame, everything that they do on drugs and alcohol. Oh, you find out they slept with somebody else. Oh, I was drunk. I didn't know what I was doing. Oh, I was high. I didn't know what I was doing. That is not an excuse, okay? Let's get this straight. That is not an excuse. So be aware of this. They're going to blame it on alcohol and drugs whenever they get caught doing something, all right? And they'll be relentless in lying and saying, that didn't happen, that didn't happen, that didn't happen. And they won't stop to the point where you just finally give up, okay? Because you're just tired of arguing. They have beaten you down. You're not getting them, to admit to what they did. They're not taking any accountability. And you get to a point where you're so beaten down. And also, some people, they think because the narcissist keeps lying and lying and lying and lying, they start to believe the narcissist. Because they say, oh, they must be telling me the truth because they wouldn't be going on and on and on like this, right? Yes, they would. Okay? Yes, they would. They still would be going on and on and on with the same lie, even if they're guilty. They would. And that's one of the ways that they beat you down to the point where you believe them, okay? The other thing that a narcissist will do when they're caught is they're going to get angry at you. They're going to get angry at you. They may start yelling and screaming. They may start breaking things. They're going to terrorize you, especially if you're dealing with a malignant narcissist. They could get in your face. Now imagine this. They did something to you, right? Let's say you caught them cheating or something, and they get angry at you. And why do they do this? Because they're guilty as fuck. That's why they're doing it. And they're trying to intimidate you to back off. This is what they'll do. They'll intimidate you to back off. I had used this example in another podcast where I had this with a mechanic that I was dealing with my car, where they screwed up my car and they did something with the wiring where the light was left on. And I know when I dropped that car off, the engine light was not on. But the owner of the gas station of this auto place, he knew he had done something wrong, and he came at me with like a vengeance. All right, like you've never seen anything like this before. Why? Because he was guilty. He was guilty because his mechanic didn't know what he was doing, and they screwed up the wiring. But instead, he started screaming relentlessly, saying to me that light was on, that light was on. And I'm like, no, not today, Satan. That light was not on, okay? Because I remember telling him, I could wait to bring the car in. If that light was on, I wasn't going to wait to bring the car in, right? Obviously, I'm not going to drive around with a check engine light. So I knew that light was not on, right? But he got irate. He got in my face. He started cursing. Why? Because he was guilty. He was guilty. And I proved him guilty because I went to another mechanic who showed me exactly what they did wrong, okay, when they rewired around the water pump or whatever, you guys, okay? But I'm just using this as an example of like the goal of these people. The goal of these people, they do you dirty and then they start getting angry at you, all right? It's all a mind fuck. It's all to make you think that you did something wrong. And this is exactly what an overt or a malignant narcissist would do. They'll start raging out at you when they're caught, yelling, screaming, getting in your face, trying to intimidate you, put their chest up into your chest, all right? Punch the wall or something like this. This is to scare you, to back off, all right? That's why sometimes when you confront like a malignant narcissist about something they've done, whether they cheated, on you, or whether they robbed you or anything, when you confront them, you better watch yourself because they could flip out and do something, okay? So be very careful with somebody like that. Like if you know they have violent tendencies, don't even bother. Just get away from these people, all right? So they're going to get angry, get in your face and scare you. They'll accuse you of what, they were doing as well. They're going to say, you're the one who did it. You, all right? So the joke of all of this is that when you confront a narcissist, nothing ever good comes out of it, all right? Except for the fact that you're exhausted after it. You're just flat out exhausted after trying to get this person to be accountable. It's ridiculous. Basically, you guys, here's the thing. You're never going to get accountability out of these people. Never, unless, remember what I told you? Unless they want something out of you. Other than that, they're just going to deny till they're blue in the face, gaslight you, call you crazy, get angry, get in your face, all these things, all right? But you yourself have to be, you have to trust yourself and trust what you saw, what you heard, and not let the narcissist distort your thinking. And this is what they want to do. They want to distort your thinking. They want to cause cognitive dissonance where you lose your sight of what is real and what is truth. So you have to have a clear mindset and know that what you're seeing is the truth. And no matter what that narcissist says, you're not going to be swayed because you have seen, heard, or you have proof of what they have done. Okay? And don't ever expect them to, give you that closure or give you that, that peace that you're trying to get. Like, let's say you caught them cheating and you're just looking for your peace, and they won't. They absolutely, positively won't give you that closure. They don't want to give you that closure. They always want you to be wondering why they did that, or because this way you're going to start to wonder maybe you did something wrong. So don't look for it. Trust yourself. Trust what you've seen. Trust your gut, and know that, you don't need that clarity from the narcissist. You are trusting yourself and your eyes and your ears in what you have seen and heard. Okay? I just need to clarify that because that narcissist is going to do a number on you to try to confuse you. Okay? So I hope that helps you guys to understand what a narcissist is going to do, okay, when they get caught. It's never pretty, okay? It is never, ever pretty. So many people think, I got the goods on the narcissist. I'm going to, show him this and blah, 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 blah. They're going to rage out, call you crazy, or they're just going to run, okay? I did a reel on this. They're going to rage or they're going to run, or they're going to do both. Rage, then run, all right? So just know what they are. Now you know what they are, and now you know to try to distance yourself and not have anything to do with them if you can, all right? If you can. Walk away if you can, all right? If you have children, obviously it's a whole other ball game, and I'm not going to get into all that. We know when you have children, you can't just block and delete. You have to deal with this person, unfortunately, and there's a whole way to deal with them, all right? You've got to like gray rock them, minimal contact, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, this is what happens when you confront the narcissist. This is how they're going to react. They're going to make you, okay, the bad guy, and they're going to try to play the victim. So I hope that helps you. If it does, hit the subscribe button, share the podcast, share the video if it's a YouTube video. If you're looking for coaching, check out the link in the bio. I have limited time. If you're confused, you don't know if you're dealing with a narcissist, what kind of narcissist they are, and you need clarity, check out the coaching link. I don't know how much longer I'll be able to do coaching, you guys, because I'm working on another project that has just taken up all of my time. Also, you guys, check out my YouTube at the Game Exposed podcast. I have a lot of videos on there on narcissism, a lot on covert narcissists, a lot on discard, their manipulation tactics, how they control malignant narcissists. It's all on my channel. I have thousands of videos on there at the Game Exposed podcast. Also, check out my TikTok at the Game Exposed. Facebook, Instagram is the Game EXP123, and have a great day.